Chrissy, thank you. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg took the stand in a landmark trial over social media addiction claims.
Joining us now to break down his testimony, attorney Eric Faddis. Good morning. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning.
What is this case about?
This case is about what social media platforms can be held legally responsible for. In the emergence of social media, it's kind of a new terrain, a new legal landscape. And so courts and juries are determining, hey, what can they have to be responsible for paying compensation for in terms of some of these maladies that the plaintiffs say follow from use of these platforms.
Is it rare for a judge to call on a CEO like Zuckerberg to testify in a trial like this? I mean, they went right to the top.
I think that was necessary for the plaintiff to really convey to the jury exactly what the heart of these social media platforms know and what they believe and the actions they took. If you have some low-level executive being cross-examined on the stand, that's a lot less impactful than, this internationally recognized tech guru Zuckerberg, who was peppered with questions about what his platform knew and the actions they took that the plaintiffs claim are addicting to young folks.
There's a big trend really across the world, Eric, about limiting especially social media to young people. Curious to know in this testimony that's coming up, what are we finding out about this?
Well, a number of things. One, according to the social media platforms, they believe they did take reasonable actions to protect young folks. They had age-restricted accounts. There were parental controls. There were time limits, things like that. But there are some documents that suggest that some of these social media platforms knew that their platforms were addicting to young folks and in fact, tried to design them in such a fashion to hook in these youngsters for as long as they could for purposes of profits.
The question would be if this case is going to impact future lawsuits. You would think so, maybe establish a precedent or two. Is that how you see this going?
Oh, 100%. This is totally a bellwether case. It could be seminal in terms of the precedent it sets. My understanding is that there are more than 1,000 other lawsuits that are sort of waiting to see what happens in this case. And so depending on the way that it goes, it could have broad impacts for the entire social media industry.
How do you see this, before we get to some other breaking news that we've been covering this morning, how do you see this all playing out, if you had to guess?
The social media companies are arguing in this case that they did not cause the depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts that the plaintiff, who's 20 years old, developed. They say that, hey, there were a number of life circumstances, including a turbulent home life, that caused these things. So there's an element of personal responsibility here, and it's going to depend on kind of how the jury sees that. Is a teen, should they shoulder that personal responsibility for what happens with their mental health? Or did these platforms substantially contribute to the damages that are being claimed? That's a tension the jury's going to have to wrestle with.
It's an interesting take. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because today, in this day and age, it's social media platforms, but it seems like there's a lot of parallels to things in the past, to different eras and different generations. There was a time when the same arguments from both sides were being made about the influence of radio, of television, of magazines, cigarettes, movies, video games. Are there any connections to all those things that this is what this generation is dealing with, but it is something that goes back decades of what is influencing kids to do things they shouldn't?
I think there are some parallels, especially with the tobacco industry. For the longest time, that industry publicly claimed that they didn't believe their products were addictive or materially harmful health-wise. But then there were sort of internal documents that showed maybe they did have such knowledge. That is really kind of playing out in this trial in terms of what Meta has said publicly about their platforms and then what they knew privately and were discussing behind closed doors. And I'm sure the jury's taking a close look at all of that.
All right, speaking of behind closed doors, another breaking story that we've been following throughout the morning, Eric, is the arrest of former Prince Andrew. Where do we go from here?
Well, gosh, I think a lot of folks, especially with the Epstein saga, were looking for transparency, but not just transparency, action. I think it's kind of peculiar that it seems like the only prosecutorial action that's followed from the release of these files happened in the UK. They're making big moves here, arresting the king's brother, albeit probably for disclosing allegedly confidential secrets. And not necessarily sexual misconduct. We don't quite know yet. But I think that the public is kind of saying, hey, America, like, are you guys going to take action too? What's going on?
Interesting. All right, Eric Faddis, we thank you for the time and the expertise this morning.